This is an upgrade to a video I made earlier about how to use the Dealer4 machine. First, what I'd like to do is show you some of the equipment that I've made to add to the Dealer4. What I've added is a simple little XP laptop you can pick up pretty cheap, and a monitor, and that just builds it up into a system that you can really easily see what's going on. But the next things I added were things that you could not buy. They include a faux deck, a shoe for dealing, and a rack for holding the boards. This is the faux deck, and essentially what it is a 1/4-inch piece of plywood cut in the size of a card and a handle put on it. The reason we need this is the machine requires 2 decks in, at least one deck on top to be provide the right pressure on the deck being dealt. So when we get down to the last deck, we only have one, and that's where we use the faux deck. The next item that we added was dealing shoes. These were made by a friend of, actually the husband of one of our bridge players. He's a very good wood maker. You can't buy these anywhere, but he was good enough to make them for me. What we use these for is to hold the cards while we're loading the dealer. The final piece we added was just a rack that we use to hold the boards while we're dealing and loading them. This is pretty easily made. It's a 2x6 that's got 2 holes drilled in it and a couple of 1/2-inch PVC pipes, just big enough to hold the boards. Okay, here we are all set up and we're ready to deal now. Each shoe holds 10 decks. So I have 3 shoes, that's 30 decks of cards, 30 boards. The dealer has 2 boards or 2 decks all preloaded in it. That gives me 32 boards. That's all our club ever really uses. If you notice the rack, it holds the 31 boards we won't be using, and the single number 1 board is already in the dealer. A couple of things about it is we always build this up from the very last one to the very first one. That's because we're going to go from first to last when we actually do the dealing. After we've dealt all the boards, this is the way our system will look. Okay, what we're going to do today is we are going to show you how boards are made. Not with the birds and bees, but with a Dealmaker. Now, the first step in making up boards is to generate the boards. And for that, we're going to be using this program right here called Bridge Composer. Now, I'm going to make up 2 sets of boards that I'll play next week, one day after the other. But I want to make them up now so I don't have to make them up in the last minute. So the first step in this is to open up Bridge Composer, which I'm going to do right now. And it will pop right open. And when Bridge Composer first comes up, it comes up in the one board or the one hand mode. Now we're going to want to print out hand records, and so we don't really want one board. I'm going to go over here and change it. I'm going to go to File and do Find Page Layouts right here, and I'm going to change it from one board to hand records, because that's what we're going to want to be printing later. Okay, that's great. Oh, I didn't save it, sorry. Do it again. Page layout. It's going to be hand records, hand record, and I have to go down here and say okay. There we are. Now we're in hand records. So the first thing we want to do is generate our boards. Now I'm only using 32 boards because I have less than
12 tables. Actually, you could use 32 boards up to 16, but anyway, I have a small club and 32 boards serves our needs. So to do that, I go up here to where it says Tools, right there. Click on Tools and go down to where it says Generate Random Boards, because that's what I want, are random boards. Now it gives me some options, and I'll go through them. I do want the double dummy analysis for all generated boards. The number of boards I want are not 33, but 32. I want to show each board during generation, and the name of our site where we'll be playing is Salt and Pepper, and I've already typed that in. The event is Katie Duplicate Bridge Club, and the date it's going to start is not that date. I'm going to open it up and go down here to that date. That's the first game I want to play, which will be next month on the 4th. We play Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, okay, that's fine. So now all I have to do is say generate, and amazingly the boards pop up. Just a minute or less, and I have everything. It's doing the double dummy analysis now. That will happen very quickly, and you can see it being added to the hand records. So now I have my hand records. I have everything ready. I want to save this because I'm going to print it out later. So I'll do a file, and I want to save as. And you notice it comes up with the date this was created for, 1804-0904, and that's great. That is exactly the date that I want. And I will say save. I've already got one, so it wants to know if I want to replace it. Yes, I do. Okay, so we've done one, and our next step in this adventure will be to do the to actually make the boards, and I'll show you how to do that next. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to actually load our Dealmaker, not in the Trump sense, but we're going to load the thing that actually shuffles and deals out our cards for us. And that program is Dealer4. It's sitting right here. And I'm going to click on that bad boy and open it up. And it wants to know a whole bunch of stuff, because you see Dealmaker can generate boards too, but I don't use any of that. What I do is generate it, as I showed you, with Bridge Composer, and then I load the file into here. And the way you do that is you go up here to File and you do a load, and now it wants to know where is this thing that you want to load, and it's in Documents and Settings. I know that. And it's in Bob, in My Documents, and there it is. It's 180904. That's the first one I'm going to do. It's really the only one I'm going to show y'all, but it's the Bridge Maker output format. It's got the little red diamond on it. So that's the file I want to load. So I'll say OK, open that, and it will load it. There it is, file name. So it says we're going to do 32 boards. Very good. So now all we have to do is go up here where it says Deal, right here, and say Deal.
The next part of this video, I'm going to show you how the Dealmaker works without the neat little gadgets I made to speed it up. One of the things you need to be aware of, though, very first, are two important boxes on the Dealmaker screen. after you've selected deal, the screen comes up. One of them says check board numbers. Now, if you've got numbers on your board, you want to make sure that's checked. It does a lot of very good things for you, including making sure you don't deal over a board that's already been dealt. So the first part of this will be done just with a manual Dealmaker the way you get it. Alright, what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how we first get started. And the way we do, we have to start with two boards made up. We'll take the cards out of two boards and we will put them in the hopper. Take the cards out of the second boards and I'll put those in the hopper. Now normally I would have an assistant here doing this for me, but you can do it all by yourself if need be. And I'll open these boards so they're ready for me. And I will take the first board. Now, there we are. We're ready to start. Now I'll show you how to start. Okay. Alright, the way you do this is you take the first board and you slide it in here and hold it in. Now you see the start button here? I'm going to hit the start button and then we're going to start to deal, and I will show you the dealer working. So now it should start to deal. Okay, we've finished with the first board. I slide it out, close the board, make sure it's closed, put it into the case, take the second board. I'm ready to do that, but before I do it, I have to make ready the next board. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take the cards out of it and put them in the hopper. This is something my assistant would normally be doing if I had one today. Put them in the hopper. And now they're in the hopper. So now I'm ready to start with my second board. And I'll simply slide the second board in carefully. It's in. I heard it click. And I'll hit the start button. And all the cards are dealt. Now I slide that out, close it up carefully, put it in the case, and now I go over here, get my next board, prepare the board to follow by taking the cards out, putting them in the hopper, get this board open, ready to go. Alright, now I'm ready to do this one. Slide it in till it clicks, hit the button. I like to kind of hold my fingers on it just because it makes me feel good. Alright, now I'm going to pull this one out. And you see how it goes. I'm not going to videotape every board, but I will come back here at the end and show you the last board. Thank you. Okay, what we're going to show you now is the last two boards that go in. We spared you all the other, see all these right here? We spared you all those, but I'm going to show you the last two boards. I've got two decks in the hamper, and I'm dealing with board number 31 now. So I'll stick it in, hit the start button, and off we go. We're dealing. Take it out, close it up, put it in the hopper, in the basket here, and this is the last board. Okay, this is the last board. I'll put the board in and hit the start button, and it will deal it. Successfully dealt the last board in the set. Now I'm going to show you how we do the dealer, utilizing all the gear that Mark has built for me that makes things run I'm a little more confident now, and this time I'm going to check my board number and the second box over here on the very left, which is automatically start dealing as soon as a board's inserted. This is going to speed things up a little. I'm going to show you now the last set that we're actually going to deal here, and I'm not going to make you watch all 32 boards. But we're going to go through the last 8 boards very quickly. Now I'm down to my last 8 boards. Here are my cards that are remaining in the shoe. I've got 2 decks loaded in here right now. And I'm going to pull this guy off and slide him in. And off we go. Now while that's going on, I'm going to take another deck off the card reader, getting ready for the next run. Pull this out, close it up, set it off to one side. Take another one, put it in the reader, take some cards off, put them in here, close it up, pull another one, take some cards off. It's kind of boring right now, but it'll be over in just a second. Put them in the reader. Pull my next one. Take some cards off. Oh, I see what's going on. Put them in here. Take this guy off. Put that in there. Close that one up. Take this one off. Pop it in. Put my last deck in the hopper. Pull my next one out. Now at this point I only have 1 deck in the hopper, and you're supposed to have 2. That's where this little handy dandy faux deck comes in. We'll put that on top. So now it thinks it has 2 decks. I'll take my last board out, pop it in, we're off and running. So that's pretty much how it's done. We're finished now, and it's telling us we are. I hope you've enjoyed this movie, and tell all your friends about it. Come on over, have popcorn, watch my movie. And thank you very much. Goodbye. By the way, if you would like to get a hold of any of this special equipment that I've shown you, just message me and I will put you in touch with the guy that made all this stuff, and you guys can work out whatever you can work out. Have a good day, and oh, by the way, donate to our fund.